Hey YouTube, this is your girl Tia. I'm back with a third journal entry. I'm on the road today with these entries, but I have a lot on my mind. This entry is reference to relationships. A lot of people I'm sure can identify with this topic. And I just felt that I need to talk about it because I'm getting tired of the responses every time they know how long I've been with this person. And I know my boyfriend's probably going to be a little pissed that I'm talking about it, but it is what it is. I don't care. He'll get over it. But, okay, so my boyfriend and I have been together for, it will be 13 years in February. That's a long time. People be like, God dang, y'all should have been married by now. True, to a certain extent. But it also depends on how long when you started dating. I started dating him when I was 18 years old. Why would we be thinking about marriage? Like, I was 18, he was 19. We were still in college. We were fresh, like, starting college. I met him at my first job, my first real job at Safeway. And a lot of people that know, that's on the East Coast, that know about Safeway, it's a grocery store. And if you don't know about Safeway, it's a grocery store. They have it in California, DC, Virginia, Maryland. I don't know if they have it in other places, but those where the Safeway locations are. Yeah, that's where we met. We met at Safeway. I was a cashier. He was a cashier as well. But he was working there way longer than I was. At least like a year or two longer than I was. I got the job through someone from my church who worked for Safeway. Not for that location, but Safeway in general. And they knew the manager at the time. So they got me to hook up. So I first saw him, I remember, I think it was in November. I started on Safeway in October. And so I was in training to be a cashier. So he walked in. He wasn't working at the time. He was still working there, but he was off because he was in college. But he was coming back for college for Thanksgiving break. But he wasn't going to work at that time because the Thanksgiving break in college is only like a week. So he really wouldn't have no hours. But he was coming up there, I guess, to talk to the manager to tell him that he's coming back in December for, the Christmas break because it's longer. And so he wanted, I guess, to work out some hours. I really wasn't paying attention to him until he walked up to my check stand where one of our coworkers was training me. And he was talking to that coworker. And he was saying, I guess they were saying, you coming back? And he was like, yeah, I'm coming back. I glanced at him, but I really wasn't paying attention to him because I was trying to learn, the codes for the different produce items and all of that. So I wasn't really paying attention. I saw him, but then I really didn't see him. The second time that he actually grasped my attention was the following month when he came back for Christmas break and he worked. And at the time, I was still I wasn't really in a relationship with my high school sweetheart, but we were in a struggling time, me and my ex, and I didn't know how long we was gonna still be together because he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. That's another journal entry that I'm sure people will want to hear about. And I don't care if he doesn't, approve of it because it's not his approval. This is my story. But I was going through things with him and I didn't know if we were still together or not. I didn't know. I don't know. But at the time, I had a cell phone, but at that time, this was back in 2005. So, well, actually, the end of 2004. And back then, cell phones were, it wasn't as relevant as it was today. Like, the technology wasn't all the way there like it is today. Like, I had a flip phone. Like, flip phones flip phones and sidekicks were in back then. So I had a flip phone, but I had minutes. And my minutes ran out, and I wanted to talk to my boyfriend at the time, or whatever he was at the time, because it was a situation that happened, and I needed to address it with him, and I didn't have enough minutes. So, my future boyfriend, but at the time he wasn't. He had came up to me and he asked me. He was like, you need to use my phone. And I said, yeah, can I use your phone? And so he let me use his phone so I can call the ex. Well, boyfriend at the time, but he's now my ex. And I was on the phone for a little while with him, like going back and forth with him. And and this the coworker, which is now my boyfriend, he was like, after I got off the phone with him, he was like, if you gonna using my phone this long, you might as well put your number in it. Usually I wouldn't, do something like that, but it wasn't no hesitation for some reason. So I did. He didn't even expect for me to put my number in. So I put my number in. This is after I got off the phone with the ex, the ex-boyfriend. And no, I wasn't cheating, nothing like that, because I didn't know the status of my relationship at that time with the ex. I didn't know if we were still together, because he had a whole nother situation. He had a whole nother girl pregnant while we were together. It was a real deep story, but I'll get into that another time. So he was like, you might as well put your number in there. And I said, okay, and I did. I remember he had a flip phone. The picture, his screensaver was Lisa Ray. That was one of his favorite actresses. Like, he had a crush on her, and all of that. So I remember the picture. She was in like a pool or whatever. But I remember that picture. I would pull it up like in the description, but I don't know how to do that. I ain't that I'm not that tech savvy. But anyway, so I put my number in there. He actually called me later that night after we all got off work. This was like 12 something that night. We got off at 11, but he called me like at midnight. I didn't even expect for him to call me, but he did. We were on the phone for hours. Like, I want to say 6 hours till the sun came up. We were on the phone for a long time, just talking about everything, getting to know each other and all of that. And then ever since then, we just started, talking. We started talking at work, but not like that. We were just cool, because he knew about the boyfriend at the time. But like I said, I didn't know if we were still together or not. But he knew about him. They actually met because their colleges were like not too far from each other. But anyway, moving forward, like I said, I spend a lot of time with the coworker. I'm just gonna say the coworker. Well, he was my coworker at the time. We were as friends. Like, he would take me home because I wasn't driving at the time. He was, so he was, take me home from work if he was working that day. We would just talk on the phone a lot, and he was just like take me home. That was mainly it. We were just friends. Like, I started to develop feelings for him, but I think it was just more of an infatuation at that time. It wasn't like I wanted to be with him, and he didn't want to be with me like that, because he himself just got out of a relationship. So we were just friends. We were just, trying to get to know each other. So long story short, like after, like I want to say 2005, like around summer 2005. No, not summer 2005. Like early 2005. That's when my ex at the time, disclosed to me that he got another girl pregnant and all of that. I was just done with him. I was already kind of done with him, but I didn't know. But that validated me being done with him. And then I also started to, feel for the coworker. So I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm tired of this, this run around with you. I'm over it. You have a good life. It is what it is. I broke up with him. Then this is something that I should have not have done, but I end up, I let the coworker know, and we actually got together that same day. He was kind of skeptical on doing that because he was like, I feel like you're being vulnerable right now. I think we should wait, but I didn't want to wait. And looking back on it, I wish we did wait. Maybe we wouldn't have so many maybe the certain issues in our relationship, in the midst of our relationship, wouldn't have occurred if I would have waited. But I didn't. Whatever. So we got together. We was officially together on February 6th. So that at that time, that was Super Bowl Sunday, 2005. I had to work that day, so I went. He didn't have to work, but I had to go to Safeway and I had to work. We talked. He called me on my check stand phone, and we talked for a little bit, and then whatever. So I was happy about it. This is the decision, and it is what it is. And we've been together ever since. Now, moving forward, I stopped working at Safeway August 2005. He was still working at Safeway a couple of years after I left. And then he stopped working there. Now, years later, we're still together, which I enjoy and which he enjoys. He works, at a better job. I work at a better job. Whatever. It pays the bills. But we still together, and it's a rarity in that because a lot of people don't make it in a relationship that long. Some people break up within a year, some people break up within 3 years, some people break up within 3 months. But we managed to stay together. And we do it because we communicate. We communicate like friends. If I talk to him about any and everything, whether it's good, bad, or the ugly, and he understands and he tries to give me the best advice possible, and vice versa. There's some things that it took a lot out of him to break down and tell me, his past, and he did, and it was, that's refreshing. And I feel as though he's withholding some more, but it will come out in due time, whatever. I'm not going to force him. But communication is the key. That it may be simple, but it's the key. You have to you have to have communication. You have to be willing to, talk about the bad, the ugly, the good, all of that. You have to. We had some issues in our relationship. We had infidelity in our relationship. I ended up cheating on him with my ex, a couple of times. But he knows everything. I told him. He stayed because he wanted to, and he cheated on me. He cheated on me with someone in college. So we done dirt. It was hard to talk about it, but we did. We understood. We forgave. We will never forget, but we moved on from that. But a lot of people, when they ask me, how long y'all been together? When y'all gonna get married? That's the first thing somebody say. And it starts to irritate me because, yes, I want to marry him. Yes, he wants to marry me. But it takes time. Like, I don't have no money. I don't want to do the justice of peace. I want a wedding. Now, he doesn't mind doing the justice of peace, but he knows that that's not what I want. I want a wedding, and wedding costs money. I want that. I want the whole shebang. And if I'm going to get that, if it takes a little while for us to get there, so be it. But it will happen, hopefully. But I'm getting tired of people asking me that because, yes, that's something that we both want to do, but we want to wait till the right time to do it. There are so many people that he knows, that I know, that's married, that don't want to be married. There's, that my ex is married. He don't. That's another story. I ain't gonna do it. But whatever. There are a lot of people out here that's married that aren't happy, that don't want to be married, but they just do it for the public. They do it for the likes. They do it because for the kids. No, we want to do it because we want to do it. Because we love each other and we want to spend the rest of our lives together. If it's not right, if we don't feel like it's not the right time, we're not going to do it. And that's just why we haven't been married yet. But it will happen in due time when it's the right time. And that's what I'm trying to nip it in the bud for people that keep asking, when are you going to get married? We will get married when we feel as though we're ready. when you gonna get married. I mean, goodness gracious, like, it will happen. But I feel like our relationship is rare because people don't like to talk. People don't like to, do the simple things to help their relationship grow. They always want to, they want always want to, like, copy off of other people. No, just be yourself. I mean, the only advice I could say to have a longevity relationship is to communicate, to talk, not to be afraid to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly, to, show your true self. I don't always look good. I be looking a hot mess. I look a hot mess now, but he don't see that when he looks at me. And he be looking a hot mess too, but he don't be sometimes. But I see that sometimes, yeah. But it doesn't bother me because we love each other, and we would do anything for each other. I worry so much for him because I always look on social media. It's always something on the news, something bad on the news, and I worry so much for him that I will give my life up for him. And that's, people may call me crazy, but that's me. And I will do that for my mother too. Like, I'm not afraid to die. I'm not. And if I have to risk my life for somebody that I love, I will do that. But I just worry so much because it's so much happening in this world, and it's like you have to keep your loved ones so close, and I do, and I keep tabs on him a lot. I keep tabs on my mother, which irritates her, but I do. I keep tabs on people that I really care about, that I feel like I need to worry. I mean, they don't give me the reason to worry, but because it's something always happening, it's like I'm a worry wart, and that's what he calls me all the time. But yeah, like I said, I'm just sick of people asking me the same question about when do we get married. We get married when the time is right. It's not, to me, it's not right now. We got to make sure we're financially stable, all of that good stuff. And right now, we're not. I have a few more years left to pay off my car. I have a bank loan that I got to pay off. I got stuff that I got to pay off before I can start saving more and get my things flowing. So until that happens, we just, and he got stuff that he got to do. And once he gets that done, then I guess we can start worrying, we can start worrying about that, unless we both win some sweepstakes, which probably ain't going to happen. But that's all I wanted to talk about. Like I said, if you're in a long-term relationship, good job. I hope things are working out well for you. If you are looking for someone, I would say don't look. It will come to you. Like, I wasn't looking for him. He came to me. Don't look so desperate. Don't act so desperate. Just be yourself. Communicate with that person like that was your friend, and y'all will become friends. And don't be afraid to talk about any and everything with that person, and vice versa. And you will be surprised. And also have God in your relationship. God is in my relationship, even though I'm still praying for him every day. He's still lost. He has a relationship with God, his own type of relationship with God. But I feel as though he needs to be more open-minded with, God, and, pray to him more. I always tell him, pray, tell your grace, talk to him. He say he talked to him. I hope he does. But I feel as though his relationship with God needs to be a little bit more strengthening. Like, and so does mine. Because I've fallen off the wagon a few times. But God will be in our relationship. I will continue to pray for him, continue to pray for myself, and all that good stuff. But if you are looking to be in a relationship, like I said, don't look. It will come to you. Just don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to be an open book, and vice versa. And put God in your relationship. Put God first, and everything will come into play. So if you like this video, subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever. Do what you do best. And I will come back to you later for more journal entries or whatever. I might go back to doing pranks. Well, not pranks. I haven't done pranks. But like challenges. In my earlier videos, I was doing challenges with one of my friends. I might go back to that. But right now, this is something that's been on my mind. So I'm just doing the journal entries for now. And then maybe down the road, I'll do more challenges. So peace and blessings. And talk to you later.